what it do, baby? Welcome, guys. Welcome to the channel. It's JL. In this video, I'm going to be going over how to survive the slow times, right? Yesterday was a slow-ass day for me. I think I made 180, working 9 hours, so not that great. There was a lot of downtime. Here's what you need to do, or here are some things that you can incorporate on different platforms to get through those slow times, right? There's a lot of things you guys can do to maximize that time, because as everyone says, time is money, right? And we want to make the most amount of money in the smallest amount of time. Now, a lot of us want to make $1,000 a day. Don't we all, right? But if you're not hitting those numbers, it's totally okay. If you can hit at least 200 to 300, or depending on what your situation is, as long as you get to that number, it's a good day. Now, what do you do when it's slow? Well, there's a couple things that you should be doing to ensure that you actually have work. For one, you want to multi-app, right? You want to have that in your back pocket just in case an app goes down, or just an app. There's malfunctions all the time. I get messages all the time about Spark that drivers are having issues or experiencing some issues with, app connectivity or anything like that. It could be anything. So to prevent yourself from being frustrated because an app is not functioning the way it's supposed to be, make sure you're on multiple different platforms. For me, I have Lyft in my back pocket if I ever wanted to do so. The thing with that, so I have a plan A and plan B, right? Primarily, I'm doing Spark orders. Right now, I'm gonna put on the screen, I just took a $63 order that's gonna take me, it says 2 hours to complete. So I'm guaranteeing myself right now 31 an hour, if I follow that 2 hour time frame. I would show you guys, but you can't really see through you can't really see. I'll put it up on the screen. But yeah, right now I have that locked in. It's gonna be about 12 stops, 42 miles for $63. That's not that bad, right? So my plan A is Spark. I'm doing Spark primarily, but if I ever had to, my plan B, I already have everything planned out. I'm not just gonna go on an app and do it. No, I'm gonna do the rental program for Lyft, because I don't want anyone in my personal car. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get an e-vehicle, but for that I have to go all the way to Boston, to a Hertz, and it'll essentially be 200 something a month, or 200 something a week, sorry. So it's a little pricey, but I have unlimited miles. I chose the highest option possible. So Lyft has this option where you can either rent a gas vehicle for roughly 200 to 300, or an e-vehicle for 200 to 300. But you can get $175 in bonus back towards that payment if you drive an e-vehicle and if you do a certain amount of rides in a week. So that's my plan. If everything were to close or whatever, I would literally just simply go on Lyft and do orders there. So that's the plan. Always have a backup plan, whether you have DoorDash in your back pocket, Uber Eats, Grubhub if it's still around, Instacart and Shipt are also two other good ones that you guys should have in your app arsenal, right? Every person, I covered this in a video yesterday, every person should have an app arsenal. That's a group of apps that you continuously go on, and you can pick and choose from those different apps while they're all on, and just kind of cherry pick those orders. That's one of the best ways to make your goal, your monetary goal for that day. So if you're trying to make $200 a day, you have maybe 4 or 5 apps that you have on, and then you just start taking orders from there. Now, I do have to say, guys, I talk smack about DoorDash all the time, but another one that's it's a sleeper app is Roadie, right? I never see orders. I never see good orders on Roadie. Only once in a blue moon. But my brother, he works a full-time job, 50 hours a week, probably more, and he does Roadie on his time off sometimes, because there are times where it's hard to skip those orders. He'll show me screenshots of an $85 order that he took. It took him like 30 minutes to an hour to complete. That's not that bad at all. This morning on Roadie, I saw an $85 order for 13 miles, but you had to have a vehicle that can support weight. So Roadie's kind of secretive with what the item is. I don't know why. All they show you is the dimensions of the vehicle, or the dimensions of the product, how much weight total max, right? They give you like a rough estimate. So this morning when I saw that $85 order, it was a 2,200 pound order, right? And what they provided was that each item was roughly 100 pounds. So they got 22 of those 100 pound. No, it was 22 pounds. Sorry, I got the numbers mixed up. It was 22 pounds for each item, but there was 100 of those items. So it was probably like rock salt or something like that. And they probably got 100 pounds of rock salt, or 100 packs of rock salt. And that was going from one town to another. It was only 14 miles. That really would not have taken long, except for the fact that if you needed to hand lift everything, you probably need a van or a truck, something that can support all that weight. Because if you go up to that Roadie job and I don't like this either. They threaten you. So they say, if you come with a vehicle that is not going to be able to do the order, you could potentially get kicked off the platform. Man, with threats like that, I'm not even going to go on that. I don't like that. I don't like when apps do that. Because they're being super secretive to begin with. So they're going to penalize you if you go to the job with limited information and then you can't do the job because your vehicle's not big enough. So with Roadie, you have to just make sure you have a big enough vehicle for whatever it is. To me, it's not worth it unless you have a bigger vehicle. The smaller jobs that are on that Roadie platform, they're like pharmacy jobs. I've seen them as low as $6, $7, but those can go as high as like $20. If no one's taking those grocery, or if no one's taking the pharmacy orders, they can start going up to $15, $17 to $20. Then it's worth it. But the thing is, it's not consistent. So Roadie's more like a secondary app. You can't really depend on it heavily. But apps like Uber, Lyft, Instacart, Shipt, and Spark, those are more like main apps that you can depend on to have orders. Will you have some dead time, some slow time? Yes. But for the most part, most of the orders, you can stack them over time in a span of 5-6 hours, however long you're going to be on these apps for, and you can make decent money just being on these platforms, right? For me, I try to aim at least 25 to 40 an hour, at least. If it's like lower than that, then it's not worth it for me. There's days where I take L's. There's days where it's so slow, I'll average 20 to 25, and I'm just like, I'll still hit my numbers, but it takes me longer to do so. So if I can get orders like this, it's a $63 order on Spark, and it's gonna take me roughly 2 hours to do it. That's what I want consistently. That's roughly 30 something an hour, 31, 32 an hour. So that's ideal right there. But excuse me guys, just gotta take a sip of my coffee. That's another thing too, guys. If you guys are spending money on this, you need to find ways to start saving. I get bonus points, right? I have the app, the Dunkin's app. If you're gonna get coffee or something like that, don't get Bucks of Star. They're a little overpriced and they pack their stuff with ice. So I get a lot of crap for that, for saying Bucks of Star is not that great. But Dunkin's is decent. The flavors that they have they're decent for the most part. But if you want to save on these drinks and coffees, try Cumberland Farms. That's $1, $2 per coffee. And then if you're doing Dunkin's, make sure you have the app so you collect points every time you make purchases, and you'll get free coffees every week, right? I average around 1 to 2 coffees a week that are free, completely free, because I take advantage of the promos when they're there. And it just makes sense to do that. I think on Mondays they give an extra 100 points if you order a coffee on the mobile app. They give you an extra 100 points. So every 500 points is a free one of these. So I always do that, but definitely maximize your income by reducing whatever you're spending. You're gonna be spending gas, or you're gonna be charging your car for those who have e-vehicles. That's gonna happen, right? But if you can maximize the amount of money, like savings that you can make on these platforms, that's when you're gonna make the most money. A lot of people don't take that into consideration. They just see the end result of their day and say, oh, I made $370. Okay, but what did you spend on gas? What did you spend on food that day? That's gonna bring it down a little bit, right? So minimize that, pack a lunch if you have to, if you're doing this full time, and you guys are gonna be making money. So I'm approaching the Walmart here. So I'm gonna be getting off of here, but I just wanna come on here to let you guys know, there's a lot of things you guys can do when it's slow. You kind of have to just grind it through, right? Yesterday I grinded it through. I was kind of annoyed. I called it, I usually stay out till like 7 or 8. I ended up stopping at like 5:36 just because it was so slow. I ended up driving a lot yesterday, only to make that 180 or whatever it was, which is still a good amount. But right now I'm trying to aim for 250, 300 a day, right? If I can stay consistent with these orders, if they can come in, if I finish them right on time and then another batch of orders come in, that is ideal right there. So, sorry about that, guys, but I'm gonna let you guys go. Thank you guys for staying this long in the video. I hope you guys got something out of it. And if you guys wouldn't mind, like, sharing, and subscribing. And until then, I'll see you on the next one, guys. Take care.